Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Amadai TV, More Than Meets the Third Eye. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to purchase a membership, then feel free to do so. Also, don't forget to like and share the video, okay? It is very important to like and share the videos. All right, now let's see who we have in here. Let's see who is in here. Hold on just a second. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on Twitter at DGoddess27, and TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur. All right. Hello, Nessie. Kenyatta, Mr. Hotel is in the house. All right. Buckhorse DC, Tara is here. Okay. Juju, I see you, beloved. Emperor Rex. All right. My fan page is here. Warrior Status. Okay. Let's get ready to get into it. Everybody go ahead and get those likes up. Please be sure to share this video. Make sure you're sharing the videos, beloveds. Hey, Mark Ayers from the UK. Angelina is here. All right. Biblin, I see you. Samantha Ford is in the house. Desmond. Okay. So with that all being said, we're going to talk about synchronicity in spirituality today. All right. So get your notes out. Hey there, Crazy Beach Aries. Okay, so, and for those of you with memberships, I'm going to be uploading something shortly after this broadcast. It's going to be an upload. It's not going to post as a premiere. So it's just going to be an upload for everybody that's a member. And so make sure you look out for that. I'll probably post it around 5 o'clock. Okay. All right. It's just a brief video. All right. Just a brief video, but it's going to be beneficial. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Hey, Warrior Status, Curly Girls in the house, Nessie X, Melanin A1. All right, shout out to all my Stardusters in here. Shout out to all my Stardusters. So let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this PowerPoint presentation that I have prepared for you. Thank you, Melanin A1. Said, love that background. Thank you, beloved. Okay, here we go. Likes up. Everyone, please like and share. All right. Synchronicity in spirituality. Okay, first things first. Did anybody notice that today is Friday the 13th, by the way? Anyone notice that it's Friday the 13th? And how many in here? One's in the chat. How many of you, thank you, Maya says you're glowing, darling. Thank you. How many of you have ever experienced, to your knowledge, experienced synchronicity? One's in the chat. Hey, Patrick. One's in the chat. If you've ever, Obsidian Blaze. All right. Carl Jung. That's right. I mentioned him in here, beloved. How many of you have experienced synchronicity? Looks like a lot of people have. October says you did. Okay. Okay, so let's get into it. I have synchronicity all the time. All right. Very often. All right, here we go. What is synchronicity? Now, the term synchronicity was coined by Carl Jung, the famous Swiss author, thinker, and psychologist. He said, a meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved. The event is meaningful because what happens is the external world is mirroring something happening in your internal world. An example would be cleaning out a closet and finding pictures of an old friend from college whom you haven't connected with in 10 years, and then days later getting an email from that same old friend. Now, some people call that a coincidence. I myself don't believe in coincidences. I believe that's absolutely synchronicity. Okay? Now, synchronicities in psychology. From a psychologist's viewpoint, synchronicities might help us notice the power of our minds beyond our own understanding. And minds are very powerful. As you know, I've told you before on numerous occasions that a mind is one of the most powerful things that anyone can ever control. Now, it's like the ability of our minds to speak to us in dreams or connect with the minds of others across time and space. I have that happen to me too. Someone that I'm close to, someone that I have a spiritual connection to, we may very often have the same thoughts at the same time. We may call each other, right? And I may be calling them and they'll say, oh, I was just dialing your number, or and vice versa. Or we may send each other a text simultaneously. Okay. Now, an unexpected message or thought out of the blue. When you unexpectedly get that message from a person that you were just thinking about, this is likely the universe telling you there is something significant about the connection. 2 days prior to Irene Cara's death, I was thinking about her out of the blue. I hadn't thought about her in years. I thought it was strange, but I knew there was a reason that she popped into my head. You see, when I all of a sudden woke up one Wednesday morning with Irene Cara on the brain, and then I started reminiscing about the movie Fame that she played in, the songs that she sang, how she won the Oscar for the song What a Feeling. And then I started asking myself, whatever happened to her? It's like she just fell off the map. I was a big fan of hers when I was a child. And then I was just wondering, why am I thinking about Irene Cara all of a sudden? But I knew that something's about to happen. Okay, so I called my friend from New York and I asked him if he knew whatever happened with her career. He informed me that she had been blackballed after suing her record label. Now, this was on a Wednesday. That Friday, it was reported that she had died. Okay, so she suddenly, out of the blue, popped into my head. And the reason I have the Pisces symbol on there is because once I realized that she had passed away that Friday after she had just been on my mind all day that Wednesday. I was literally looking up her songs, listening to them. I was researching after my friend told me she had been blackballed. I started looking into that, and I was just really had her on the mind on Wednesday. So that Friday, my friend sent me a video of her performing the song Fame. And I sent him back a heart and I said, did you send me this because we were just talking about her Wednesday? He said, no, I sent you this because she's passed away. And I was like, what? So that was very interesting. But the reason I put the Pisces symbol up there is because when I found out she had passed, I said there must be some type of astrological or cosmic connection that I had to her spirit, perhaps. And so I looked it up, and she's actually a Pisces, and so am I. And Pisces is the sign of the psychic, for those of you who don't know. Pisces are very intuitive and spiritually gifted people. That's why our birthstone amethyst is also known as the stone of the psychics. Okay? So now, synchronicity in spirituality. In my opinion, synchronicity is messages from the universe that serve to grab our attention, that make us think deeper into certain people and situations. You see, these clues dropped from the cosmos should remind us that God's will is actually done on earth as it is in heaven. The ancestors, angels, and spiritual guides. Now, spirit guides, angels, or ancestors, whatever you choose to refer to them as, will regularly send synchronicities as helpful nudges about our destiny and as invitations for healing and personal growth. Spiritual guides assist us in navigating every aspect of earthly life so we can receive practical guidance about anything and everything via synchronicity. Okay, so let me stop for a second and see what you all have to say about that. So how many of you know or think that you have actually received messages, divine messages from your ancestors? How many of you? Mr. Hotel, RIP to your mother, beloved. He said his mother was a Pisces. Melanin A1 said February 21st. I'm February the 27th. Okay, so how many of you either know or think that you have received messages from your ancestors? One's in the chats. I receive messages from my ancestors all the time through dreams, sometimes through prophetic visions. Different things will occur. Let me tell you all an experience that I had with synchronicity. This happened quite some years ago, probably about 15 years ago. Okay. Hey, warrior status. Tira's in the house. All right, D. Griffin, sexy one. So let me tell you what happened to me. So one day, I was going to an herbal store. I was going to this store to purchase some more sage. Now, when I went there, before I went inside, I was actually sitting in my car because I got there a bit early and they had not opened yet. So I was sitting in the car talking on my phone. And I was speaking to someone who said they were going through some troubles and things like that. And so I was telling them some scriptures that they may want to pray that could help them. I told them to pray the 91st Psalm, which is a prayer of protection. And I also told them they should probably pray the prayer of Saint Michael, the archangel. Well, they had never heard that prayer before. So I sat there and I recited the prayer to them. And I also was wearing at the time a pendant with Archangel Michael on it. Okay, so then when the store opened, I went inside to get my sage, and I only had like $10 on me. I didn't have my debit card or whatever. I was actually coming from the gym, and I just thought about it because I saw the store, and I said, well, let me just go over there and get my sage while I'm in this area. So long story short, I go inside the store, and as I'm standing there, the lady's busy getting stuff together because they just opened, and she's the only person there. So I'm standing there, and something says to me, it's like a voice in my head, like someone whispering something to me, and says to me, look down on the shelf. And so I turned and I looked down on the shelf, and there were some books. Now, mind you, this store didn't really sell books. They sold like stones, crystals, oils, ointments, elixirs, sage, things like that. Okay, so I was kind of surprised to see the books there. And the books were, in fact, it wasn't a lot of them. It was like 2 rows of books on the bottom shelves. Okay. And so I looked down, and the first thing that caught my eye was there was a book titled The Miracles of Archangel Michael. And so that was very interesting. And I thought to myself, this is absolutely synchronicity, because I was just reciting the prayer of Archangel Michael in the car right before I came in here. And I'm wearing a Saint Michael of the Archangel pendant. And I'm always, having talks and conversations with Archangel Michael. So with that all being said, something in my spirit told me to ask the woman in the store about that book, how much it would cost. Now, mind you, I didn't have the money for it right then because I didn't have my debit card. I only had like $10 on me, like I said. So, and I was thinking, well, I don't have any money, so I'll just wait till another time. And something said, no, ask her now. So when the lady turned around, I said, excuse me, ma'am, how much is that book? I said, I'm not going to buy it today, but for future references, how much is that book about Archangel Michael? She says, oh, you want that book? And I said, yes, I'll probably buy it next time I come in. She said, oh, you can have it. And she reached down off the shelf, took the book off the shelf, and gave it to me. And it was a very nice book. It was a hardback and all of that, had a nice cover. And I said, you're giving me this for free? And she said, yes, you can have it. And I said, why would you just give me this book? And she said, her spirit told her to. And I said, that's crazy. And I told her, that I was just quoting the prayer outside, and I had on the pendant, and I showed her my pendant. And she said, well, then I gave it to the right person. And so that, my friends, is synchronicity. Okay, that's synchronicity. Some people would call that a coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidences. That was synchronicity. And I read that book literally in one day. Once I started reading about the miracles of Saint Michael the Archangel, I couldn't put it down. Okay, so let me continue. Obsidian Blaze said, I borrowed a book from a library about Edgar Cayce. I never heard of him. 2 days later, there was a broadcast about him. That means you were supposed to read that book. You were supposed to learn about him. That's what that is. Absolutely. Mr. Hotel said, amazing. Yes, it absolutely was. Kenyetta said, beautiful story. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so now let me continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Okay, so spirit guides, angels, or ancestors, whatever you refer to them as, will regularly send synchronicities as helpful nudges about our destiny, as invitations for healing and personal growth. Spiritual guides assist us in navigating every aspect of our earthly life so we can receive practical guidance about anything and everything via synchronicity. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, Thank you, universe. I trust your well timed guidance and signs. Now, there is a reason for some of the experiences you have been going through recently. There are no coincidences in life. Everything is perfectly timed by God and the universe. So trust that that your angels are sending you divine guidance through the information and the people coming into your life at this time. There is positive guidance here for you. Trust the process and the path that is being shown to you, as it will take you forward towards just one step at a time until you are where you need to be. The angels of synchronicity are here to guide you and will remind you of their presence at the perfect time. Synchronicity can come from your inner self. Now, synchronicities also come from our own soul or spirit. Our intuition doesn't speak to us in an audible message, it speaks to us via consciousness. Spiritually speaking, synchronicities occur when an external force, like spiritual guides or angels, or internal force, which is our intuition, want to send us a message or provide guidance. Now, let me talk about that also. You all may remember me telling you the story about how my ancestors came to me in a dream, my shaman ancestor and the rest of the natives of the tribe that I'm from. They came to me in a dream. This was months ago. It was last year, back in, I want to say May or June. And they came to me and they performed a smudging ritual on me in a field. And it was a lucid dream. It's like I walked into the spiritual realm. Okay. And I was standing there with my arms stretched out like the cross. And the chief shaman was smudging me and he was praying over me. And they put feathers in my hair and shell necklaces around my neck. They told me to keep spreading the word, to keep exposing the truth, do not be deterred and don't stray from the path, because I will always be protected. Okay. Now, synchronicity in romance. Now, regarding romance, synchronicities can lead you to a potential romantic partner, like meeting a lover because you were simply sitting next to them at a sporting event, cheering for the same team, or stuck together chatting in a long line at the concession stand. Synchronicities can also provide helpful guidance at crucial points in a romantic relationship or show us where we could develop intimacy skills that lead to different, more fulfilling romantic relationships. Synchronicities can lead us to new relationships or deepen our existing ones. Synchronicity or coincidence? Because some people think things are just coincidences. They're not spiritually in tune, and they just don't believe in things like synchronicity, precognition, clairvoyance. They don't believe in any of those things. Now, what about when you're not sure if something is a synchronicity or just a mere coincidence? I, for one, don't believe in in coincidences. Consider the example of pulling up to a packed grocery store parking lot just as someone in the front row is leaving, helping you score a prime spot. Now, you might park, high five your passenger, and let them, and tell them, I've been lucky. I've always been lucky. It's a moment that lifts your mood. That's how some people think of these things. It's often through your intuition that you recognize the difference between a meaningful coincidence or sign from the universe and a random event. Your internal intuition can speak to you in many ways, primarily through the four psychic pathways: hearing guidance, clairaudience, seeing mental images, which is clairvoyance, and I have that. Knowing guidance as epiphanies, I have that as well. Breakthrough thoughts and mental downloads, claircognizance, I also have that. And feeling guidance as emotions, energy, gut instincts, and even physical sensations like chills, clairsentience. How many of you have experienced any of those things? How many of you have experienced any of those things? Let me see. Let me see. Kenyatta said, thank you for the higher teaching, Queen. Well, thank you, beloved, for your kind contribution and your kind words. Peace, love, and blessings. So one's in the chat. Some of you have experienced those things. Melon A1 said, I have experienced some. Okay. Nessie X said, I'm kind of scared sometimes. Don't be afraid, beloved. There's no need to fear. You see, when these things happen and you get worried or you get concerned and afraid, that's just the minions of Satan trying to keep you from using your spiritual gifts. You see, spiritual gifts come from the Most High. And I want you all to pay attention, because here's the thing. Now, you who have been following me know that I often talk about the Christ within energy. I talk about the oil that's secreted once a month from the claustrum, which is in the center of the brain, and how that oil goes down and travels back up and all of that. So I'm not going to get into that whole thing, but I want to tell you, for those who may have forgotten, that remember, that's where they get the story of Santa Claus from. Because the word Santa Claus, they actually get that from claustrum. Okay? The claustrum, that's in the brain. Santa Claus. They say that Santa brings gifts and goes down the chimney, because that sacred oil that is secreted from the brain once a month, 12 times a year, flows down the 33 vertebrae of the spine and then comes back up and then crosses the pneumatic nerve or the vagus nerve, touching the optic thalamus, which is known as the light of the world. The optic thalamus is then illuminated, bursting through the heart chakra and the throat chakra. This is when you have achieved the Christ consciousness. Now, I said all that to say this. Those of you who have and acknowledge your spiritual gifts, I myself believe that everyone has spiritual gifts. I just think that some people are not in tune with spirituality. They don't have a close connection to the Most High, and they don't know that they're a divine being, that they're a divine spiritual being living an earthly human experience. They don't know these things. And if you don't know who you are, then you don't know what you are. And if you don't know what you are, then you don't know that you have these gifts. And if you don't know that you have these gifts, well, then how can you use them? You see. And so if you never use them, I think the gift becomes less potent. But those who use the gifts, they become more stronger. It's like when you go to the gym and you work out, you strengthen the muscles the more you use them. When you have spiritual gifts, the more you use them, they become stronger. And they are spiritual gifts, like the gift of the sacred oil that comes from the claustrum. And Santa brings gifts. You see where I'm going with that? That's why these are spiritual gifts. Okay? And so now, let me continue. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Clairsentience, or feeling guidance, is one of the most common psychic pathways, a great tool for sniffing out true synchronicities. Benchmarks to discern synchronicities from coincidences in the moment. Okay, now notice if time seems to slow down when it happens. When you have an experience that, you may feel it's a coincidence, you're not sure if it's synchronicity, you think it's just something that randomly happened, no big deal. Notice if it seems to slow down, if time seems to slow down when it occurs, as if the moment is pregnant with a meaning and you feel more alive or present. And when I say pregnant, I mean as if you're giving birth to a new part of your life, a new revelation, a thought of something, like something is coming alive within you. Pay attention to how your body responds, like getting chills, goosebumps, like someone just said in the chat, or other physical cues from your intuition. Observe the energy around you. Does it change, becoming heavier, electric, or light? Notice if the memory of this synchronicity keeps coming back to your mind hours, days, or even weeks later. Give it a gut check. Did the synchronicity feel like the best guidance and the right call in your gut? Your gut instincts is what you should use. Now, even if it was unexpected information or an unwelcome revelation, was it beneficial to you? Did it help you in any way? Ask yourself, was the way in which the synchronicity happened somehow remarkable or even amazing? Those are the questions you should ask yourself, because usually you'll feel one of those things or some of those things if it's a synchronicity. All right. So with that all being said, Desmond says, anxiety in my stomach is my synchronicity. I doubt that, Desmond. Sit down somewhere. It could be. It could be. You could have like a tingling sensation, down your spine. Feel like the hairs on the back of your neck are standing up. Now, sometimes that's when something nefarious may be about to happen and you feel it coming. Okay? Tara says, I know I have a gift, but something has been tearing me down for a long while and I don't know how to shake it off. I've tried sage candles. Nothing is working. What should I do? Well, beloved, I can't get into all of that right now, but I can give you a consultation and talk about it. But the first thing you need to do is you need to not be afraid of whatever this problem is. You need not to worry, not to stress, because those are all low vibrational. First things first, start trying to raise your vibrations and don't let it worry you. Know that whatever it is that's troublesome, you can always get past it. That's the first thing. And when you burn sage and when you pray and things like that, those things really don't work unless you are also expelling, the negative energy from your being. Okay? You have to be getting rid of this negative energy from your entire being. For example, what sense would it make if someone's burning sage while they're sitting there cursing somebody out and going off on somebody, right? Or they light the sage and then 5 minutes later, they're in a whole argument or keeping up mess. So those things don't go together. So you have to be actively trying to raise your vibrations, okay, and being positive at the same time you're doing these things in order for them to be beneficial to you. Okay? Nessie X said that makes sense. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so listen, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. This was just a brief, presentation I wanted to give you all so you can think about synchronicity. Tara said, I need a consultation. Okay, so you have to send me an email, beloved. You can send the email to, send it to the email for this channel, okay? Send it to the email for this channel, more than meets the third eye at gmail.com. All right. Obsidian Blaze said, meditate. Yes, absolutely. All right. So with that all being said, I want you all to vibrate high. Always remember, you should be too blessed to be stressed. You see, stress can kill depending on how you use it. Stress can make you feel sick. It can cause illness and those things. But some people, stress can be good. Some people work good under stress, under pressure. That's how they get things done. Some people can only reach, guidelines and things like that when the pressure is applied. And that's good for some people. So find out what works for you. Don't sit there stressing about things that you can't change. Don't sit there stressing about bills and money because you can always get more money and you're going to always have bills. So there's no need to stress over it. Just start thinking about solutions as opposed to worrying about those things. But for some of us, stress is good because sometimes when I know that I have things to do, and the pressure is on, that's when I perform my best. And pressure makes diamonds, okay? So with that all been said, Juju said, love the teaching, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so if I may recommend a book, family, Vibrate Higher Daily by Layla Delia. I hope I said that right. Okay, so with that all been said, everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. If you're not a member, you may want to become a member. Okay, they have memberships. There's memberships from $2.99 all the way up to $49.99 and in between. So, you don't want to miss out. We're going to be having a class very soon. Okay, we're going to be having a class very soon, and I'm going to post about that in the community probably later this evening. So with that all been said, everyone, please like and share. Subscribe. I wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and vibrate high. And Stardusters who have memberships, don't forget that I'm going to be posting something for you only, for your eyes only, at around 5 o'clock. All right? I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And also be the change that you want to see. Okay? Change starts from within, and it starts with you. Always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.